it's Kathy from Maryland. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to do a fun project today. We're going to do some collaging, and I'm pretty sure that what this is going to end up is a journal cover. So I'm going to turn the camera down because I want to show you what I'm working from. So I bet you guys have one of these too. This is my scrap box that I throw, all my little offcuts in from my projects, and it's just getting too much. So I really want to use some of these scraps, and I went through and kind of pulled out some neutral pieces. I've already started just cutting them up into rectangular pieces and taking off the edges and things like that. And then I have a pile of colored stuff. This is all from my scrap box, and I want to show you what I'm going to use as a base. This book probably weighs like 5 pounds. So I found this, it's huge. It doesn't even fit in the screen. I found this at an estate sale over the summer, the complete front pages of the New York Times from 1851 to 2008. And it's beautiful, beautiful paper. It doesn't have like a coating on it. It's just like cotton paper, huge sheets. If you ever find one of these, it is so great for what we do. And then, of course, if you ever want to look anything up from a specific date, you're all set. So I've cut out a page. This is 14 by like 11 or something, 11 and a half. So 14 is a good width for a journal cover, but this is too long. So I'm going to rip a little bit of this off. I'm going to do by 9 because that'll give me a little extra that I can cut around the edges. So we're just going to get that ripped off right from the start. Actually, I can use some of that in my collage. So this looks good. This looks good. And the nice thing about using something like this, first of all, it's a nice thickness. Second of all, it's got print on the other side. So we've already got a nice little base going on here. So what I thought I would do, and what I've done in the past with this type of a project, is I start with the neutrals and then I build with color on top of that. So what I like doing with collage is using different shades of white, vintage paper. I've got some music paper in here, and it just makes for a really nice, and then the other thing is different fonts. I think it's really nice to have different fonts, and it just makes for a great little variety. And then we'll go in and we'll add on some color. I'm gonna get my glue stick. And I'm actually gonna fast forward this and put it to music because this takes a little bit of time, and we'll talk through a little bit of it. This is an old stick I found. Oh yeah, it's still good. I wasn't sure. I kind of found it. Oh yeah, sorry. When you see the background of my craft room, I'm still not finished. I'm getting there, but it's not finished. I guess I could use this as a glue because it's all getting glued down anyway. What I realized is the lights I got from my desk, they don't quite fit. I got clamp-ons, and my husband is going to modify the desk a little bit and add a little piece of wood for me. So anyway, everything is still a mess. Let's just say that. So I like to take off all the paper that doesn't have font on it when I do this. So I will just be going back and forth and adding. got this finished. I like how this came out. Do you guys like this? So what I did was I scored the binding. Can you see that? There's probably like 7 or 8 like little 1/4-inch scores right across there to help that fold better. And it really, I think it's really gonna work nicely. So that was the only way I could figure that out, so that would bend nice. And what I'd like to do now is just add a little bit of color on this side, because after that I made like a binding of sorts out of paper. I had an idea that I want to sew around this, but I want to add a little bit of an edge like that. So I just took a 1-inch piece of scrapbook paper and I roughed up the edges. I'm going to show you one with a pair of scissors. So simple. You might as well wait to ink it after you do this, because this really gives you quite a little raw edge. So just take it and go up and down. It gives you a really nice raw edge, like so. And then I took some of my vintage photo and I just inked that up. It makes a mess. There's like little fluffies everywhere. So we're gonna just take this with our bone folder and give that a really nice edge. I want to stencil this, but it still would be like a white base. So what I'd like to do is just add a little bit of color first and then stencil it. So I'm going to use a little bit of brushed corduroy. This is one of my favorite colors. It's a nice warm brown. And we're going to just add a little bit of this Americana fawn. It's a similar color, but I just wanted some browns, and then I'll probably even give that a little spray with some espresso or something. I just wanted to add some nice, just a little bit of brown in here, and not even everywhere, just to kind of here and there. Just to kind of knock back that white a little bit. There. That's good. I like that. All right, so I have walnut and vintage photo. Let's just add a couple of these. A little dark. Of course, if something is too dark, you can always blot it a little bit. But this is kind of the effect I wanted. I really wanted to just get that background a little darker. It's a little damp, but I think that it's fine for what I want to do next. So I'm going to use this, and we are going to spray through. We'll start on one edge because I'm a little bit short, and then I'll move it over. So I just have sprayed burlap pumice stone. I'm going to do a tiny bit of this Kitsch Flamingo speckled egg. Try some of pumice stone, which is a really nice neutral color. And then I just want to do a tiny little bit of this. This is actually not spraying too well. It's just kind of squirting. So I'm just being very ginger with it. I need a new nozzle. Okay, that's nice. And then I'm going to move this over like that. A nice thing to do with this is to put something on top of it and just kind of pick that color up because it's so pretty. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that pretty against that white? I will use that for something, for sure. Okay, this is dry. I like it. I want to add some stamps though. I just think it needs a little something. So I am going to use a bunch of the stamps from the Specimen Stampers Anonymous collection, CMS 410. And I just thought that I would kind of place these this way and that way and a little off the page. Let's see. I just want to get these kind of laid out first. just turning them different ways. I really like doing that. Let's give it a try. So I practice with a couple different things. I think I'm going to go with saltwater taffy for the butterflies and moths. And then I'm going to use coffee archival ink for the text. It just kind of goes nice with this and that brownish coffee binding. I think it'll be nice. And then we've got a fun thing for the front too. So let's just get this done. So we'll do these first. And I thought I would give it a little spritz just to kind of loosen it up a little bit with the little mini mister. Oh, it didn't show up too much. I wonder why. Goodness, I may have to give that a little zhuzh with something. I don't like the fact that didn't show up. Okay, just a minute. Coming in with a little embossing powder. Plan B. Oh my gracious. All right, well, that's barely recognizable. I think because of the paint and the pigment and maybe even the texture of that, this saltwater taffy just isn't dark enough. But I do kind of like the looks of that. Maybe we should emboss these. It could be really pretty, but I just used antique linen and that's clearly not dark enough. Let me just grab something a little bit darker. All right, let's try another one. Oh boy, I could almost go right over the top of that, I think, because you can barely see that. So I've got vintage photo and I've got some broken china. That could be nice. I think what I'll do is stand up for this. Aha, now we've got something. That's pretty, yeah, I think to get something to show up on here, I'm gonna have to do that. So that's all right, let's do it. I like it. Okay, so I'm happy with this. I really like that broken china with the vintage photo. I think that turned out just great. So the next step is going to be to get these little bindings on here. And I have to piece the long side a little bit. So I want to do that on the back side, not the front. So let's get this on there. I think it's going to be a great little journal cover. I'm excited about this. Okay, check it out. I sewed all around. Oh, I think that looks good. Now, one last thing I want to do for the cover that I think is going to be really nice is I found in my botanical book this really great picture. It's like pistachio branch. It's called Pistachier Cultive, and it's a beautiful little print, and I'm going to put that on like that. I took some rice paper and I dyed it, and our video is getting a little bit long, so I'm not going to do that with you, But all I basically did was take this rice paper on my pad and just spritzed some different colors of blues and greens, and I scrunched the paper up, and then I gently separated it. And rice paper is really thin, so it ripped a little bit, but that's okay, because what I want to do with this is I want to put it kind of like underlay it and have a cool little border like that around that print. So that's okay. But, you know, it's getting a little lengthy, and I still want to do a couple fun things to this. So I'm not going to scrunch that rice paper, but I just want to show you that this was the paper. I got it on Amazon. It's this really cool rice paper, and it's perfect for this application. So what I'd like to do is just take a little bit of my watercolor paint and just accentuate those pistachio pods and the leaves a little bit. So I thought I would use this Artesia metallic paint. I don't use it that often, and I've been playing with my materials, and aren't they gorgeous? This is just really pretty stuff. I did a little palette, and if you can see the shine on those, it's really pretty. I'm going to use one of the water pens. Actually, let's use the skinnier tip here. So here's one of them, this beautiful peachy color. Just like a metallic corally peach, and I thought that was just really nice. Just want to add in a little bit along the side. I'm just going over that existing beautiful color. And I'm going to add a little bit of darker underneath. Looking good. I'm going to do these down here too. Just adding in a little bit more color. All right, now let's try this next one. It's very pretty. It's almost kind of like a metallic, I guess it's copper. So we're just gonna go in on the side, just darken that up a little bit. I thought I might just do the same kind of thing with these a little bit, the leaves, just adding in a little bit. Just that pretty metallic. I thought that was kind of fun, you know, just adding in a little bit of zhuzh. I'm just kind of going over the artist's lines, actually, where they did their original darker highlighting and thing. I'm just kind of mimicking that with a little bit of metallic paint. These brushes, you just squeeze them and the water will clear out the paint. They're really fun and practical and easy to use. There. Not nice. So the next thing I want to do is this stem. I'm going to take this brownish gold bronzy thread, and I'm just going to kind of make my way up that stem. So I thought what I would do to just help myself out is I'm going to take my awl. I'm just going to put little holes and just kind of make my way up. I think I might just go up to there. So I just did like tiny little alternating holes. So the nice thing about that is you have a little pattern where you want to do your sewing. So we're going to start, and I'm going to just make my way up in kind of like a diagonal pattern. Just kind of like a winding up that base of that branch. So this is fun. I've been wanting to actually do this for a while. I don't know if any of you follow, her name is Anna Falsetta. She's on Instagram, and she does a lot with stitching on patterns, and her work is just beautiful, and I've wanted to do some stitching like this. See? Just kind of winding my way up the stem. I'll probably fast forward this because it takes a little bit of time. get a knot in there. Okay, let's see how we're doing. We've got our little metallic paint on there. I've done my stem like I wanted to. I did have one last thing I wanted to do. Got these pretty little beads that I thought would be fun. These needles are so tiny that if you drop one on the floor, you might as well forget it, because they have a little loop in the top and they're wonderful, but boy, they get lost really easily. Okay, so I am going to need to do a little prick because that tip doesn't have any strength in it. So I just wanted to do like, and I'm going to pick up a couple of these cute little beads, kind of a little iridescent quality to them. I'm going to go down here. See, the thing with that eye is it closes. When it goes through a bead, it kind of collapses. That's what makes these really great needles for beading. Just do like a little something like that. See, I know I have it upside down, but you can kind of see what I was thinking. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Just make it very simple and do 3 little beads at the base of the leaf. I don't even know if I'll do all the leaves. Let's give it another try. These little bead trays are great for this kind of stuff. They're just a little flatter. Yeah, I think it might be easier to pick them up. There we go. All right, so we got the 3 beads. We're gonna go in like that. Cute little thing. Put a little knot in it. Go to the next sleeve. Now, do we need them in the other 3? Those are kind of minor. I don't think we do. I'm just going to put a little dot on here. We're getting there, right? Okay, let's see. Next, let's take this and put a piece of this down. And I think to use this, I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac. That's nice. Just need a little piece up in that corner. I think we can just sneak in a little piece like this up there. Yeah. Like that. Right now we're going to go on the back, just flip this over. And do the same thing here. I kind of want to leave it folded because I want to see where the edge is. Now I can one last fun thing that I would like to do around this beautiful print, and this I have not done before, and I hope that this is going to work. I had an empty container of this, so what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this fluid medium and a little bit of the Liquid-Dex, because this has a little bit more body, and I'm going to add a little bit to this and then add a little bit of gold paint and see if I can make kind of a gold paste that I can squirt around the edge of that. I thought it would be so pretty, and I couldn't figure out how else to do it. I think if you have like gold metallic, that fabric puff paint in gold, that would work, but I didn't have any. So, and I didn't have a better applicator. So I thought this might just work. We're gonna give it a try. We are. Then what I thought I would do is take a little bit of this Deco Art metallic paint and put a little bit in here, and let's see. So I thought maybe with the extra body from the gel medium that we can get something here and just kind of squirt it around the edge. And I can experiment first on a little something. This reminds me, I just dyed my hair, and this reminds me of what I did with my hair a couple minutes ago, shaking up the, ooh, yeah, that's kind of it. I just want to do a bead. Oh, it's gonna work. This is what I want to do, minus the big blob on the end. I want to do a gold bead around the edge of this. Oh, this is scary, guys. I don't know. I have to be careful because I'm afraid that if I don't get this right, this could be not so good. Let's try. I think I'm going to have to be okay with not perfect because I don't know how this would be perfect, honestly. All right, well, it's a little blobby, but this is one of those things, like Tim Holtz says, you get what you get, and however that saying goes, you can't complain because it just is. If I had like a nice syringe where maybe I had more control, if any of you guys have any suggestions, let me know. But I'm fairly happy with this. I mean, you just, like, this is nice here, nice. This is a little blobby over here, but I feel like if I try to fix it, it's probably going to make it worse. I don't know. I might try a little bit just to kind of, yeah, maybe I should leave it, but I like it. I'm going to let this dry. We're basically done. We'll come back and just take a look at it, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Well, here it is, for better or for worse. So it did flatten out a little bit as it dried. Over here, I messed with it a little bit, and it's a little gloppy, but you know what? I'm happy with it. So the last thing I'm going to do is I want to give it a little gold splatter. And I was going to maybe go over this with some decoupage or medium, but I don't like the feel of it so much. If any of you have a suggestion for one that isn't like sticky afterwards, I've tried a couple different things. I will maybe do some practice samples with this fluid matte medium. I haven't really used that much, the golden. I might try it. But for now, we're going to just finish up and do some gold splatter. And then, of course, ooh, I need to probably make a journal out of this, don't I? All right. Let's just give this a little splatter. I think this will be nice. I really think it needed this gold splatter. Okay, I'm going to clean up and then we'll come back and take one last look at this. Let's look at this closely. I want you guys to see the metallic paint on that cute little pistachio branch. I like the gold splatter too. I think this came out great. I'm very happy with the little beads. I just wanted to try some new techniques. And I think it's really fun. And it's just a great little journal cover, you know, made out of scraps. And that was a project in itself. I didn't mean for it to be all that embossing. I just wanted to simply stamp it. And maybe if I had gone in with some darker ink, it probably would have worked. But I really like the results of this. So thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. I guess I'll have to fill this little journal, won't I? Anyway, till next time. Love you. Bye.